I'm currently on holiday in Italy and I realized that it is summer solstice. And I thought, hey, what better way to spend my afternoon than ranting and raving about all of the books that I want to read for the rest of the summer? And what better place to talk about books than this? So I'm currently in Italy on holiday and I went on the most massive hike yesterday. I am completely exhausted. I have done the ocean thing, which is why my hair is crazy, and it occurred to me that I have not yet shared my most anticipated summer reads yet, and I thought, what better place to talk about summer reading than in a place that I am currently, it is summer and I'm reading lots, you know, so very much like in the zone of summer reading. That is the thoughts, at least. I'm going to run you through all of my most anticipated books for the summer. Some I have already started to tackle on this trip, which I love. Some I don't have yet and will be coming out in the next month or two. All of them, pretty much all of them, are new releases, because tell me why the new releases this year are just hitting. I don't know. We're going to be touching on romance. I've got a few thrillers on there, lit fic, and a few fantasy sci-fi options in there as well. There's quite a few books in here, so I may not go into the full synopsis of all of them, but I will give you the general gist and why I'm most excited for it. Yeah. First book on my list, I actually just read. I finished it in 2 days, so I just demolished this book. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood is one of these newer to me authors that I just could not believe that I haven't read her stuff the entire time, you know? I just adore her. Everything I read from her gets better and better and better. I've really only read like her most recent releases, so I am excited to go to her backlog now. Well, she produces books like no tomorrow, so really I will never run out of books probably. I added this to my list and honestly didn't really have many expectations of it because it is an age gap romance, and I can say that I haven't really had much of an inkling toward an age gap romance in the past, and I know a lot of people have said this, but very true for me as well. Never really appealed to me. But tell me why she made this work. This age gap was perfection. If you have any qualms about an age gap romance, she answers it. One of the things I love about Ali Hazelwood so much is that she kind of takes a topic that's maybe a little bit taboo, that's a little bit weird, and she'll like really hone in on it, and she'll like make that the central reason of the romance, but she'll speak to the problem of that romance in amongst the romance. If that makes sense. So she'll talk about like why, like in Bride, she talked about like why it would be weird for like interspecies romance. This idea of like people from different backgrounds with different culture, why we can still make it work. Like that was kind of the message, and it was beautiful, but like you also got this really intense, beautiful romance. And then this is like the same thing. We get this like 23-year-old Maya who is deeply in love with her brother's best friend, Connor? I don't know what's his name. Yeah, it is Connor. Sorry, I read another book recently with Conrad, but no, it's Connor. And he is very against the age gap. She's like, what's the problem? And yeah, honestly, such a good read. Highly would recommend it. My only qualm is the writing on this did not survive the sand. So that's the only downside of taking that one to the beach. Now, obviously I am on holiday, so I don't have many of these books with me, so the rest are just going to have to be someone probably over here. And I'm just going to have to walk you through these books. The next one I do own already at home. It's waiting for me. I keep procrastinating on it. Is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Now, my partner actually has beaten me to reading this. He was like, oh, new Emily Henry, I'm gonna read this. And he just finished it. He was like, I don't know what everyone was complaining about being not that great. And not that people were saying it's not great. I think they were just saying that it's different to her normal style. So I am really nervous and excited to check that out. Essentially, for that one, we're following two writers who are bidding to get this writing job to write the biography of this woman. It feels very like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Next up on new releases is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I have such a interesting relationship with Ashley Poston's novels. I am obsessed with the magical realism of those books. I've read 7 Year Slip and A Novel Love Story, and the concepts like really suck me in, and I really am so drawn in. There is like a level of just predictability that I find with her books, but I love to watch authors progress and grow. And so I really do. I do want to read this one just to see that. And from a hit-making songwriter and a bit of musician. So I think it sounds like Ashley Poston really loves her Grumpy Sunshine. So that is what I'm expecting from that. And look, I'm just going to leave it there. If you want to look up the outline, go check it out. 2 more that are like on my radar. I don't know if I'll get around to them, but I want to. Number 1 is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now this one, I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Obsessively loved that book. But for some reason, I have been hesitant to pick up some of her newer work. This book, I don't know why, but I read Hail Mary earlier this year. And so whenever I see this book's outline talking about like the space shuttle program and romance, like for me, I just think of Hail Mary, which obviously has nothing to do with that, but that's where my brain goes. I'm associating positive things, so I think I want to add that to the list too. And another one on the maybe pile for this year, I will probably get to them at some point, but for summer reading. This one is the second book in the Into Darkness series, Caught Up by Navessa Allen. I cannot tell you how much fun I had reading Lights Out earlier this year. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I could not recommend it more to listen to it as an audiobook. I actually would say that would be a really fun summer read. Do not accidentally let that thing go on your family's speakers though, because that is not for family viewing. But I assume we're going to have a similar vein for Caught Up. It just makes me giggle. We had such a good time. Yeah, in this one we are going to be following, I believe Nico is the cousin to the main chick in Lights Out. And he's like part of a mafia family. So I think we're going to be following that kind of vibe. And yeah, we're going to have a little bit of voyeurism, I think, is the vibes there. I'm not going to say too much more, but yeah, that was another one on the top contenders. That could be a really just like fun, smash that out audiobook for a day kind of situation. Another one I'm like very curious. I've not read from this author before, but What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I have not read anything by her before, but the concept just sounds so incredibly cute. And I have this obsession with reading books while visiting places. So I kind of have this as a maybe that I might go and check it out. I don't know. It could be cool to read while visiting. Just saying. Falling in love with your husband is anything but convenient in this steamy romance. Dani Dorfman has somehow made it to her 30s without knowing what she wants to do with her life. So when an office romance ends poorly and gets her fired, she applies for a job in Amsterdam, idly dreaming of escaping the mess she's created, but never imagining that she'll actually get it. Except she does. By the end of her first week in Amsterdam, she's never felt more adrift or alone. Then she crashes her bike into her high school ex-boyfriend. Yeah, that's the gist. That one just sounds really fun. That is just giving summer romance for me. Old flings, just like I'm imagining them like exploring the city together. It's giving cute. It's giving meet cute. Re-meet cute? I don't know. Anyway, I'm very, very much vibing that one. This next one, I didn't even have on my TBR until like a few weeks ago, because Jessa Hastings came out of nowhere with a second release for this year. Instant buy author. I adore Magnolia Parks. I have Never sitting on my shelf that's also needing to be read, and I cannot tell you how much I loved Conditions of Will, but I just adore this author, and I will just instant buy everything that she creates, just as a thank you for her putting effort and putting words on paper. That is how much I love this woman. So Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings is coming out, I believe, next month, and she wasn't supposed to meet someone like him. He wasn't supposed to be her undoing. She really likes that word, undoing. It's 1995. Oh, the 90s. I saw a video this morning. There was someone interviewing like Gen Alpha, I think, being like, what's old? 2000. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, it's 1995. Joe Harrigan is the brash, enigmatic frontman of the biggest band in the world. Ooh. Obviously, I've never read this yet. I haven't read it yet. And Ysolde is the iconic face of a generation. She's who people write their songs about. The kind of girl who would ruin a man. He doesn't fall, she doesn't chase. But from the moment they meet, it's headfirst, reckless, and inevitable. Too much, too fast, too consuming. Loving Ysolde makes Jonah feel alive, but it also makes him feel trapped. Her star burns just as bright as his, and he doesn't know how to be with someone he can't control. The more he wants her, the more he resents her for it. But fame is corrosive and so is love. Neither Ysolde or Jonah, or Joa, Have I been saying Jonah the whole time? Joa, were built to survive both, because some loves don't end. They can't, so they just destroy you. Come on. That's so good. Can I give it 5 stars already? Because I already know. And then one other final little mention that I don't even know if I'm going to read this summer, but I wanted to talk about it because tell me why I only just found out that Disney is commissioning authors to essentially do a rewrite of all of our favorite Disney movies. And one just came out called Worth Fighting For, which obviously is Mulan, a Mulan retelling set in, I believe, San Francisco tech guy world. And yeah, I will be reading that at some point. And if you are a Disney lover and you grew up on Disney, just thought I'd put that on your radar in case you, like I, did not know about it until very recently. So that's also on the back burner. In terms of thrillers, I'm sure there's so many more, but I am going to try and keep this list not a million years long, and so I have 2. Number 1 is The Thrashers by Julie Soto. I am on a Julie Soto kick at the moment. I got put onto her from her Rights and Wrongs series on AO3 earlier this year, and just we're just loving her work at the moment. So this is a new release from her. It's like a high school YA thriller mystery sitch, but it sounds really good. And another one that I just added, I think it was actually yesterday that I came across it, The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. This sounds so fun. June 1975, the Taylor family shatters in a single night when 2 teenage siblings are found in their own home. The only surviving sibling, Vincent, never shakes the whispers and the accusations that he was the one who really killed them. Decades later, the legend only grows as his career as a horror writer skyrockets. Ghostwriter Olivia Dumont has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she is the only child of Vincent Taylor. Now on the brink of financial ruin, she's offered a job to ghostwrite her father's last book. What she doesn't know is that the project is another one of his lies, because it's not another horror novel he wants her to write. After 50 years of silence, Vincent Taylor is finally ready to talk about what happened that night in 1975. Doesn't that sound amazing? So that's another one on the list. I just feel like that would be a fantastic book to just you've got an entire day by the pool or down by the beach, just binge. Sounds so good. Next, we're gonna dip our toes into litfic. Number 1 on that list, we have Frederick Bachman, My Friends. Honestly, I cannot tell you the amount of love I have for this man. I am only halfway through Beartown series, and I am having to take it slowly because it's quite a heavy book series. I actually stand by the fact that I think that would be a good beach read too, but alas, My Friends is... Honestly, reading the back of this, I don't actually really know what it's about. I'm not gonna lie, but the gist of it is, in the corner of one of the most famous paintings in the world, 3 tiny figures sit at the end of the pier, and this painting gets placed in the care of an 18-year-old Louisa, who goes on a road trip to figure out the origins. And I believe that she then makes friends with the people in the painting. I think she's hunting down the people. That's my understanding. I might be completely wrong, but I'm not gonna lie, the back is very evasive, which truthfully very much tracks for Beartown and his synopsis of that, because obviously the mystery is in the premise. The premise is in the mystery. You can't really tell someone about what Beartown is about without spoiling what Beartown is about. You know what I mean? You have to be so careful to describe it. So I'm imagining similar vibes with My Friends. And Frederick Bachman, my hero, and our translator. Who's our translator? Neil Smith. I'm pretty sure he's the regular translator for Frederick Bachman. So thank you for putting his words into a way that I can actually read, because otherwise I'd have to learn Swedish, and so thanks. Next on the Litfic list are The Emperor of Gladness. This one is a bit of a funny one. It's one of those, like, just a little out of my comfort zone in the way that it's told. I like to put like one book that's like really out of my comfort zone every now and then. Typically it'll be in Litfic, that are just like a little beyond my like typical, you know, just something a little different. And this is definitely that. But essentially it starts off with this boy. He is about to try and commit suicide, and this woman sees him from her balcony, and she's like, get down, calls him over, and she's like, don't you dare. If you don't come over, I'm going to call the cops on you. And so that was kind of the pretense, and the essence of that book is their friendship, to my understanding. And I just feel like that is such a sweet little summer read. So I'm going to definitely be tackling that at some point. Another book on my list in the Litfic department is Sunstruck. I just bought this recently, actually, when I went to the Haomai festival that they have there. There was a signed copy, so I grabbed one, and it just had like a really cool concept. And I believe that this is a debut work from William Rayford Hunter. So I love to support our debut authors, and apparently he won a prize. So anyway, it's set in summer, so it seems very fitting, but it says, it's summer and a young man walks through the gates of a luxurious mansion in the south of France. At the dinner table, the Blakes are waiting for Annie, the family matriarch and world-famous singer, her inscrutable husband, David, and their children, Dot, aloof, rebellious Lily, the man's carefree university friend, and their enigmatic older brother Felix. Between sun-drenched days spent lounging by the pool and nights blurring into endless opulent parties far from the reality of life in London, a restless attraction grows between Felix and the man. The possibility to be part of a family and an entire world in which he does not belong suddenly within reach. And things go wrong, essentially. You can continue to read the whole thing if you want to check that out. But yeah, just like it's set in the south of France in summer, and very much a summer vibe. It is dealing with a lot of like race and classism and kind of deeper topics, but also like set in this beautiful, stunning town. Oh, and then I have one last one. This one is not something that I intended to read this summer, but I might read it actually. I, who have never known men, I got this as a 2-for-1 deal at the airport with both of these. So this might be an impromptu addition to my reading list for the summer, because I'm here and I have it, so I might as well read it. This book is following a group of women who are stuck in a bunker underground, and the person who narrates the story has only ever known life underground, and so it's this kind of dystopian of what life would be like without men, because the only men that exist in this book are dead or gods for whatever reason. That's just kind of the function of the story. And I think we're just talking to gender and identity, and they eventually escape. And so then our main character has to then deal with life on the outside with no preconceived notions of what it is like to exist in the world, if that makes sense. So really fascinating concept. Nice and short. We love a good short book for a summer read. I think that rounds off our Litfic. Last category is our fantasy sci-fi. Okay, so number 1, this technically could fit in the romance category, but we're going to put it here, is Rose in Chains. I am so excited. It will be only a few days after I get home from this trip when it will be in my hands. And I am so excited for this book because, if you know nothing, Rose in Chains by Julie Soto is a recreation of her AO3 fan-fiction called The Auction. And what I love about this book, I'm just so obsessed, is the original. So it's actually the third. The Auction is the third in the Rights and Wrongs series. So she starts off with the right thing to do, and then all the wrong things is, so we have Hermione's perspective and then Draco's perspective. And then The Auction is actually so fascinating because it was a request from people who were reading these first two were like, she had mentioned this thing called The Auction as like a spin-off different universe where that could have happened. And on request, she wrote The Auction. And I just think that is just one of the coolest things about fan fiction, that there's this like interplay. And now we have like this published work. Thank you to this beautiful connection that we have in these platforms. Anyway, I get really happy about it for some reason. Just makes me very, very happy. So anyway, Rose in Chains coming out. I'm also just very stoked for Julie Soto to reap the benefits of all of her hard work, because she poured so much love into The Auction. I'm currently reading it as just a prep for myself because I want to. So I thought I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to read Rose in Chains. It's actually going to be part of a trilogy. So excited. The war is over, the dark forces have won, and the hero who was supposed to save them is dead. I wonder who that hero could be. Captured as her castle is overrun by the enemy, Bryony Rosewood knows that the world that she knows is changed forever. The dark forces of Beaumard have won, and her people, the Eversons, I love it, face imminent servitude, imprisonment or death. Her brother, fated to be heir twice over and unite the warring kingdoms, is dead. Stripped of her mind magic and her freedom, Bryony and the other survivors are quickly auctioned off to the highest bidders at an auction. As their heir's apparent sister, she fetches the highest price. That makes sense. After a fierce bidding war, she is sold to none other than Tovin, a high-ranking bombardson, and her long-time and ill-fated infatuation. Yeah, look, I'm so curious to see how this and Alchemized is coming out later this year, but that's not a summer read. But I'm so fascinated to see how we take a fan fiction work and we morph it and we change it and create it into something new again. I'm very excited. Another one on the fantasy releases is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I have started reading this one. I think I'm like 60 or 70% of the way through. I definitely love this one a lot more than I have the previous works. We're essentially following 3 different vampires as they navigate vampirism is the best way I can describe it, through the ages. Like, we're following from like the 1500s, the 1800s, and like 2019. So it's very fascinating. I would highly recommend checking out the audiobook if you like the Scottish accent, because one of the chicks has a Scottish accent, and I was like, I like listening to this. I love the Scottish accent, and not many audiobooks are narrated with Scottish voice actors, so can attest, did enjoy. I have a weird relationship with her work. I love the way she writes. Sometimes for me it is a little too lengthy, and I will give a full review once I'm done, but angry vampire lesbians. What's not to love, you know? And then the last one on my new releases radar in that like sci-fi arena is The Memory Collectors. It's kind of like When the Coffee Turned Cold vibes. So people have like developed the technology to like give people a glimpse into the past, and so they can like go back as like a bystander and just like watch an hour of their life pass by essentially. But these people go back and realize that there's a glitch in the system and they are in fact stuck in the past. So that, and then we get to kind of figure out the mystery unfold of how they get back to their own time, I would imagine, and I don't know what the implications of the timeline are for that. Oh, I love a good timeline impacted. But yeah, so that's pretty much my list. I do have some other books that I want to read that are not new releases. Like, I wanted to read the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I would so highly recommend the audiobooks. Also, I believe are narrated by the actors from the TV show. I did really enjoy, and look, did I see the ending of that coming? Nope, not at all, but I was a fan. I liked how it turned out. There was a bit of an iffy moment in the middle there, but yeah. But you know what? I think I'll do a different video, which is like specifically summer reading recs at a later point. But anyway, guys, that is it. I'm gonna go and probably get into my swimmers and go for a swim, because what else do you do on summer holidays in the afternoon but go for a dip in the ocean? So I think that is my plan, and yeah, hope you guys are having an amazing summer. If you have any other like must read summer recommendations, please let me know. If there's any on this list that you're like, hell yeah, I can't wait to read, also let me know in the comments. And otherwise, happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one.